Wow, everybody. I know it's been a long time, and I apologize for that. I know you guys are just tweaking right now, chomping at the bit. You're just, I don't know. Is there a shelter or like a rehab center you guys might have found in the meantime to just get your fix, do whatever it takes? I hope you found God, is what I'm trying to say, in the time it took for us to get my internet back.
That's probably the exact opposite of us, actually. It's like when you give fucking meth addicts kratom and shit.
Yeah, it's only downhill from here for you guys if you came back for this. If you waited a week and you still came back. But we are back. The L&C podcast lives on. This is episode Who Gives a 78. I almost said Who Gives a Fuck, but I remembered 78. We did 77 and a half just before I lost my connection to the outside world due to financial struggles. I wonder why I'm struggling financially with all this fucking equipment. It's not a mystery. $9,000 in credit card debt later, right? We're getting too real at the top. Yeah.
Just stop paying it. It'll fall off in 7 years.
It's a business write-off.
Yeah. Look, son, y'all not paying us yet, is what I meant to say.
Not at all.
Because we're going to get ours.
Exactly. You will, though. We'll have a Patreon soon and ways that you can fund our...
We have some magnificent shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, bonus content. Right. That 77 and a half pickle mukbang was just the beginning of all the fantastic paid bonus content you guys will have the privilege of buying very, very soon. But
exactly.
I am just delaying for no reason what a fantastic episode we have ahead of us due to the fact that we're joined for the very first time by yet another amazing comic guest by the name of Carleton Murrell. Give it up for Carleton, everybody. Give it up.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
Everybody's
boys
clapping.
and girls, and all you others, what's going on? It's good to be here. Lorenzo and Christian, we are in this bitch like a Nick Cannon fetus, so it's good to be here.
Goddamn.
Oh, boy. I don't know how to feel about that. That feels a little too cheap, actually.
Yeah, right. Nick Cannon out here passing out babies like Oprah passes out cars. Like, you get a baby, you get a baby, you get a baby.
Yeah.
You're like, motherfucker, get a vasectomy if you're going to sit here and be reckless.
Goddamn. Look, he got the money, though. He got the money.
Hey.
Look, because broke people do it every day. That's
Yeah, I know if I had that kind of money, I'd go raw and 5 bitches too, man. So shit, I'm...
This is why I wanted to bring you on, because I mean, just out of the gate, you're something else, man. I was at the Electric Palm when I saw this guy, y'all, and I mean, it was an interesting night. Can I say?
To say
the least, because it was 10-minute sets at an open mic, which never happens.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why everybody wanted to be there, all the comics anyway, because it's like this is their opportunity to do double the usual time for free, and it's like hell yes, I don't need to be paid, none of that. But we get there, and there was I'm trying to put this. There was no audience at all. It was just us laughing at each other. And when you went up there, like, I don't know if you just didn't give a damn or if you're always this raunchy and fucking out of pocket, but I mean, holy shit.
Nothing makes me happier than pissing off old age white women, man. They were mortified with me. But, so I mean,
oh my gosh,
that was cool. And then it always takes, it takes an outburst like yours, and I'm like, oh shoot, okay, well, it's going to be a domino effect.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's like you said, it was, comedians galore. So I mean, you got to deal with that, and I'm like, well, you don't want to be mean, but a lot of people suck. So it's like, well, how bad can I do? So
We had a good time though.
Right, it was a great time.
I don't want to say like the night I met you was not a good time. No,
it was a great night. It was a great night for comedy.
Friend of the show, Ben Quinn. He was a recent guest again remotely. He was there in attendance. I think that was the first open mic he's ever been to, in fact, and he had a good time. His sister was there. My new boyfriend was there, cutting up. We had a great time. My table, and then like I said, everyone else happened to be a comedian.
Yeah,
so, that's all it was, and that happens. There are dead rooms like that where just nobody shows out because maybe they didn't hear about it, or maybe nobody but me has any friends that are reliable.
That was the lightest room that Dwayne had. I was kind of shocked because normally that room is pretty much a nice capacity room where you can really feel the energy and do things. And so I was disappointed, but I mean, just because the people are not there doesn't mean you can't perform.
Oh no.
Yeah, you still.
And that's exactly what you did too, right, which is why I was like, that's why I was dying.
The Bible says, "With 2 or more gathered in His name." So I mean, we had to still do something
with it.
Right.
We put some sticks together and got to cooking. So I mean, goodness. I really did appreciate your delivery. You're just so laid back, and then you hit people with just like the most, like I said, out of pocket, fucking punchlines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it just seemed like it was pretty much you don't want to say it's a dead room, but I think overall the room itself was pretty much like, okay, well, it's just comedians in here, and you have 10 minutes is a long time to tell a story. 10 minutes is a very long time to tell a story, and so I just felt like, it's laid back, but, there needs to be some needed levity. And I think I was like the third black guy to go up. So there was a shout out to Doug Bennett and Shevitz, Richard. And, they have their different styles. So you don't want to be redundant. And we came back to back to back. So black guy number 3, you don't want to sit around here and just be like, hey, bitches, hey. So it's something else. And so I think, I forgot the first joke that I said, but I think I said something about it took Kobe Bryant to die for him to finally pass. And
oh shit! Damn.
I think I might have covered my eyes at that point and turned a little bit.
And when that happens, like, oh, someone's listening. And then I think I said something because there was like 3 white women on the and they performed too. They were also 3 performers.
Yeah. Brenda Joy was one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm Diane.
The girl from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody?
Who?
Isn't that the girl from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody?
Well, yeah, actually, no, that's the Asian lady. You probably don't know who this is, but there was a Disney show with somebody, an Asian, I think she's Korean, a Korean lady with the same name. No, this was not her. This is a local DMV.
Brenda Joy's good people, but there was another. I think it was the Michelle from American Pocket. She was in band camp, the band camp mommy, and so she was talking about her son or something like that. And
yes.
So it was 3 white women there, and I mean they looked so mortified. And I just said something to the fact that I think the best way to honor Kobe Bryant is to grab a white woman and reenact that hotel room in Denver 2004, and they were like, oh my god. And then away we gonna go.
So do you delight? Do you enjoy kind of pushing people's buttons or getting under people's skin like that, or is that something you try to avoid generally?
Well, you want to stand out. I want to be able to say something in which people remember me. And so I have coined myself the hellbound heathen. See, hearing your jokes, I was like, oh, this guy's, I keep saying the word raunchy. Yeah, it's heathen, right?
But then I saw on your Instagram, so not to cut you off, but I saw on your Instagram ministries or minister in your title.
Yeah,
and I was like, what side of the aisle is this guy on? And then doing some more a deeper dive on your Instagram page, Heathen Ministries. I thought that was very clever.
Well, I think that I've been I've been straddling the fence between my salvation and, you know, my kind of like Marvin Gaye did. You know, Marvin Gaye was stuck between being a sexual creature and being a spiritual creature. Huh. And I mean, I'm nowhere near like Marvin Gaye, but I mean, I struggle between my faith and being, you know, some of my vices. And, you know, I got tired of feeling bad for going to church and being condemned for things that I love doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I'm a good person, but I'm a horrible Christian. You know, so I got tired of all these condemnations and penalties and punishments. I mean, I don't think I should go to hell because I like to fuck fat bitches raw. I don't think I should do that.
No,
you know, right?
You're doing it actually the Lord's work. I think.
I'm doing the Lord's work. You know,
where else are they getting?
I like watching porn and beating my dick. I love it to death. So I don't, you know, I'm a good person, but you know, I don't need to be. I'm a grown man. Don't be doing this bullshit to me.
I'm actually glad you said that about your preferred dating partner or bed partner, shall we say?
Yeah,
because it's. I mean, as everyone knows, this is fat girl season. I want to say. I mean, Lizzo spearheaded that until her recent dethroning. Yeah, but how do you feel about today's environment around body positivity and women's outlook on their bodies? Right.
Well, I embrace women who are confident and voluptuous, but as long as you can't be fat and insecure. You did this to yourself, bitch. So I mean, you know, either you eat and be happy or you kill yourself and exercise, but you just can't fuck up good pussy and be insecure at the same time. So you know, Lizzo, I just think is the wrong spokesman for.
Really?
Yeah, because
for a while she was doing so great though. I really love her.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, even though I love seeing big women and I love big women, I don't want to see all that shit publicly.
Really?
You know, so I mean, you know,
what does that mean? I'm sorry.
You know, well, she has a hideous body.
Oh, shit. Okay, wow. So what is wrong about Lizzo? I'm gonna pull her up in a second so we can examine her. But what's wrong about her shape as opposed to the people you like?
I mean, you know,
this is awesome.
You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love it, but I love it behind closed doors. You can't dress like Kiki.
Really?
Yeah, you can't dress like Kiki Palmer and
you don't like this. This is like some dominatrix shit.
But see,
right
no,
here.
that is a very PG rated. So I've seen Lizzo in some things, and I'm like, yo, your confidence is to the roof, but it is highly delusional. You know, I you know, you look like Vince Wilfork in a wig. No, baby, this is not something. You're not this.
You know what it is though? Because guys fuck with them still. That's the shit. I'll be talking at work. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys, they be like, this. I'm like, but it's men that fucking co-sign their shit. Y'all still fuck with them. You can't say shit.
You're blaming the men?
No. So
no. See, look at that. She looks like a damn, you know, oversized baked potato. That looks very, very hideous to me.
It's done. She's done up so well, though. I said it. I mean, we're just objectifying this woman straight up.
You know.
How do you feel about that? Yeah. So you see the cellulite. You see she's really wrapped in that.
Yes. I mean, it took her probably a starting five to probably pretty much put that bullshit on her. But I mean, there are certain things. In my opinion, you can still be a sexy woman, be a voluptuous woman, without having to. Like, to me, that's a sign of desperation. That's not a
really.
Yeah, that to me.
I think personally.
You see that?
I mean,
and she has a kid before. Like, yeah, you can look like me, baby. It's gonna be all right. No, you're.
But that's the point. That's the point she's saying to this little girl who will eventually. Probably be this fat.
Yeah, right.
Being black in America is like 50-50. I mean,
that's promoting childhood diabetes right there. No, that's not what you want to tell little girls.
That's the opposite argument, though. Right. Yeah, you're not trying to tell people. But see,
there's a picture right there of her in that black dress. You know, right there. Now that is outstanding picture of Lizzo.
Good. So you're just saying you'd like to see her covered up, maybe?
Just a little bit. I mean, like right there in
like this here. You like this here?
Yeah. Right. But when you want to sit here and be like, no, I want to sit here and put on lace and spandex and flaunt. Like Keke Palmer got into a lot of trouble for that thing that she did with Usher, but I thought that was okay. But for Lizzo to wear that shit, it's like, no, nobody wants to see, chocolate cottage cheese. Nobody wants to see.
I'm glad you're here to say this,
right?
Not me. Because honestly, because I'm gonna defend Lizzo. Yeah. I'm gonna defend her at every point in the road, because I don't want to get shot in the street for publicly not defending Lizzo.
God forbid you have an opinion.
God forbid I have it. But also, just also because, I don't see anything wrong. I really don't. I mean, people are already killing themselves. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I ate 3 meals today, and that was just for breakfast.
Yeah.
But I'm on my way to Lizzo-dom, and everyone, I think, in America is. So why not just embrace it? Why not embrace the fact that we're all slowly killing ourselves with food, and we don't have any money, and life is short, right?
Yeah. Well, you
play the flute. And
you speak for yourself. After weighing 400 pounds, I'm ready to let this shit go. I'm looking forward to anorexia.
You said 400 pounds.
It's just an estimation. I don't know. I haven't weighed myself. The scale is
you're not 400. You are not 400 pounds. I'll tell you right now.
No, I'm pushing probably about 360, 370. But either way, my body is telling me like, yo, it's you need to walk more and drink more water. And,
but the thing is, you are probably having the time of your life right now, doing comedy and doing some of the things that you have wanted to do for what I assume is probably a long time. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing comedy professionally, but yet unpaid for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And I started late. This is a young man's game. Your comedy is for people who, realize they don't have no direction when they're 22, 23, and it's like, all right, well, I got a couple years to fuck away.
At me next time.
Yeah, I started when I was 34 years old. So, I mean, I done already sold out to the man, and I had a job and living at home with my mother and things of that nature. And, I was like, well, I'll just sell out, make money. And, but it wasn't until I didn't have a problem being funny guy, like the funny guy in the room and amongst your friends, but that's familiar funny. Mm-hmm. But stand-up comedy is something that I respected so much, and I respected so deeply that I didn't think I was good enough to even try. If that makes any
I feel
sense.
that. No, I've had the same sentiment. And before recording, you were asking what got me into this, and a big part of it was a workshop I took. Yeah, and I've already gone over this on the podcast, so I won't get too much into it. But I mean, that was really a formative experience, and what taught me that just get out there. Yeah, just try it out, because you won't know if it's for you or if you even deserve to do it, or if you're good enough for it until you put yourself out there and take the risk, right?
Yeah. So what ultimately happened was, sometimes people get tired of telling you what you should do, and they'll put you in a situation in which they'll force your destiny upon you. I don't know if this is my destiny or not, but it was just. But what
you seem pretty damn good at it. So it's close.
But what happened is that me and my friend were seeing a very well-respected comedian at the DC Improv. Mm-hmm. And we were sitting in the front. Now, I've seen this performer too many times by myself. He never messed with me. Mm-hmm. He just did his material, had a good show. And this time I had my friend with me, and he was doing crowd work, and he was talking about couples. And so he was saying, how long y'all been together? Okay. And he was making his circle around, and I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna look at us. And the way me and my homegirl was sitting, I just had my arm around her chair.
Oh yeah.
So it looked like we were bunned up, but we really weren't. I was just resting. Yeah. So he came up and said to me, how long y'all been together? And while he was circling his way around, I was telling my homegirl, I was like, look, we are not together, look, let me do the talking pretty much. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened, but so he looked at me like, how y'all been together? And this girl was like, I am married, but just not to him.
Oh Lord!
And I was like, "Oh shit!"
Set you up for failure.
And
right
then
there we go.
And then
make a scene.
You can just tell the juices like, wait a minute, y'all. What? Why is your arm around her? This time? I'm like, hey, yo, look, bro, I'm a fan. I fuck with you, yo, man. I'm a fan. Just going about your show. No, fuck that. X, Y, and Z. He's going in.
No.
And so she's like, she stood up and was like, don't mess with him. He's the next big time comedian. Blah blah blah.
Oh no! Why would she do that? Why? She's putting you on the spot now.
Put me on the spot, and so he was like, "Oh, so you're a comedian?" And I'm like, "Hey, nah, man, I'm a fan, bro. I just much respect to you. I'm trying to be a bitch right about now. I'm being a hoe right now." He was like, "Nah, you know what? If you a comedian, fuck it. I'm gonna give you the last 5 minutes of my set."
What?
True
At
story.
the Improv?
DC Improv.
Did you have anything ready? Was it? What was the? What was the situation? Like,
man, I mean, my heart sunk down to my scrotum. I was like, dude. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. That's what he says. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
I'm sweating.
I'm sweating. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm gonna say. I'm looking at my friend and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. And so true to the form, now he went back into his material.
Yeah.
And I thought he was gonna forget about me. I'm like, okay, well, fine.
Oh no.
And he was like, all right, well, that's my show. So next coming up, I promise y'all, y'all give it up one time for Carleton Murrell. And I got up and people looked at me because I mean, of course, you know, I'm the big whale in the room and all this.
Yeah, he was trying to give you a heart attack.
Right,
That's like murder. That would have been murder if you had
5 minutes. My first 2 minutes, I did very well. I think I made a joke about being a racist in the workplace because I had this real Asian supervisor who I called her Misa Miyagi. That's what I called her. You know, Misa Miyagi, yeah. and she wanted me to add her. She wanted me to add her as my friend on Facebook. She found me on Facebook. And I was, you know, she was like, you know, accept my friendship on Facebook. And I was like, bitch. She one of them old Kim Jong-il type bitches. So I was like, I don't even know what that means. Right. So I was doing well with that. And then my first 2 minutes, I was doing well.
Yeah.
And then it was just like a snow dive in.
Now, did you have those canned? Are those things you were doing at work and doing around people that your friends, right?
You know, like most comedians who are not striving to be are naturally funny.
So but I'm just to ask, were you doing mics at this point? Were you
no,
did you
never.
have any foot? So, but never. You just happen to have those at the ready. Those
yeah. I mean, it was the only thing that because I think I was celebrating I was getting a new job.
Okay. And
I was talking about this old job, you know, where I said something like, "Have you ever had a coworker that you wish you would just die?" Something like that. Something, and everybody, like, oh,
yeah, no,
and
that's a good setup.
Right. And so I think you know, I was talking about her, and she had a little limp on her foot or something like that, and I immediately thought she had that Bob Marley cancers, and I was like, I hope it's melanoma. And she's like, oh no, and so, and people are just like, oh my God, you people think like that, and I'm like, well, I thought normally because I would take days and days during my work hours. Of thinking of ways for people to die on my job. No,
you're gonna have to elaborate.
Yeah, I was like, how can I kill this woman and get away with it?
Okay,
you know, and I was like, you know, what would happen if I piss in her apple juice? Would that kill her? Things of that nature.
You don't have a plan, right?
Right. How can it not?
It's not premeditated.
Right.
No, at all.
It won't. So I used to think of ways in my mind to kill some of my coworkers, and so
that's
so
lovely. That's
you know, so
very wholesome.
You know, so from there, that performance, even though I bombed my last 3 minutes, but when I was on stage, I never felt more like, oh my God, I didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel.
How crazy is that, right?
I just felt like so natural. I just felt like
I had the same sensation. I was telling you the first time I went up was at Woodbridge, and it was just like that. As soon as I grabbed the mic, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I had sort of a little deal over here with the mic stand, and the mic you're using right now, as a matter of fact, I would use to record music and stuff with. Yeah. And before I went up, I practiced here in this room like I would be at the mic, right? And the whole time I'm practicing, I'm feeling nervous. I'm getting inside my own head. I'm like, oh, this is going to go so badly. But at the moment I got on stage at the actual event itself, everything shuts off. It's almost like I can't even see anybody, and they're right in front of me. Yeah. And we're off to the races. And I just look back and forth between my little notepad and the mic, and that's what he said after he came and Dwayne came and shook my hand and was like, hey, you got excellent stage presence. I had no idea that was your first time. You look like you'd been doing this for a while. And, keep it up. And that's how you feel, right, when you get up there. For some of us, I don't know if it means you're mentally ill or what, but if it feels natural and you've never done it like that,
it feels it's a quiet storm that comes over you, and it's really serene, and at the time, I just was like, okay, well, I can at least say I did it. Yeah. Okay,
that was me too, first time.
I did it. Okay, it was not that bad. And then I went on back with my life. I went back on to being depressed, hating myself, just trying to find a way to just, how am I going to live out these 30s? I'm just going to work jobs and pay bills and, find a way to get out of my mother's basement. And
what kind of jobs were you doing at that point?
Well, I'm in contracting with the government.
If you're at liberty to say.
Yeah. I'm in contracting with the government. Yeah. And then, don't laugh, but I'm also a basketball official. And so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see.
That wasn't laughter.
Right, yes, it was.
That was curiosity.
Yeah, like, okay. I get it all the time, so, I'm the anomaly, the fat ref. So, everyone makes fun of me when I'm on the court. They hate my guts. And don't get me wrong, I hate them back, but see, being a basketball official gives me a good chance to do crowd work, because I go at the crowd sometimes during intermissions and halftime, right? Because they hate me. Hey, I hear it all. Fat ass ref, fat fuck. You heard it. People,
I guess games get rowdy.
Games get rowdy, especially when you perform in front of black people.
Gloves off.
White folks are. They're very, very encouraging. They're very encouraging. They want their kids to,
white folks are most of Lizzo's audience. We were really digging at Lizzo, but she's been uplifted by white people everywhere. Right. Truly.
But when you perform, when you go into some of these very urban areas, I'm from the PG area, DC area. Gotcha. You go into DC and they all come out and they swear everyone's the next LeBron James, the next James Harden, the next, and and everything is the ref's fault. Every time I blow my whistle,
then you call a foul, and then it's over.
So I have a somebody be like, hey, some dad who's obsessed with this kid. Yeah, you can just tell that he just reeks of failure, and it's like, hey,
putting all my money into this.
Yeah, boy. Hey ref, you missed that foul, you missed that travel, you. And I'm like, well, you missed child support payments. I don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
How are you saying that? Is there a mic somewhere that you're just grabbing? No. Or you're screaming?
They're screaming at me. I scream back.
That's awesome.
I said,
I love that.
I said, you shut up, weekend daddy. I don't.
Where are these games at? Because I want to be there. I'll cheer you on.
They hate my guts. Yeah. Coaches are outraged, and all they can do is be like, man, hurry, run your fat ass on. It's at the third. It's like, wow. So and then just to antagonize them, like I may go to my bag and I may pull out, some leftover pizzas and eat in half court, like right. Oh, so man. I'll just to piss them all off, and then. As the third quarter starts, then I'll just sit here and walk on purpose. But that's terrible. So yeah, I was doing that.
Doing those two things. Okay.
Doing that. I was also landscaping. And just I'll just make money and just pay bills and that and the third. And then one night, I was engaged in some very toxic self-mutilation. I'll just say that I was that's a code word for masturbating. But anyway,
okay, you scared. I was like, was it
where is this going? Right.
Let's see. Were you getting the rope together? I don't know what that means.
I was engaged in some very abusive masturbation.
Okay,
where I was.
Hey,
I wasn't
you don't
even
have to censor yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't.
This is the right place.
Right.
That's why. That's why you
invited me. Right. I can tell these horrible stories.
Yeah, there we go.
I wasn't jerking off semen no more. I was jerking off particles and electrons. It was just air coming out. But anyway.
Oh my god!
It's the 50th orgasm in 3 hours. But anyway, it's just terrible.
Yeah, been there, yeah.
I was engaged.
I've been there. Oh, yeah.
It's a sad.
I thought it was just only me doing it.
No, it's a sad thing. It really is.
It's like,
when you're like, is it going to fall off now? Is that the next step?
Right. I mean,
Oh my god.
I beat my dick like it's a heart, so I understand.
Yeah, it's routine.
Right. So I was engaged in this horrible session of masturbating, and then my phone chimed, and sometimes when you masturbate, you get that, you kind of get a little OC, like, so I care a lot more about who was up here, contacting me. So I stopped the tape mid stroke. Julia Ann had Johnny Sins dick in her mouth. Like, this is just a nice, good old gorgeous. Like that.
Oh boy, that's the thumbnail for the. Thank you so much.
So I took. I put the DVD on pause, and I had my dick in my hand because I had, I still wanted to keep my erection. And I had my pants around my ankles, and so I did a little penguin walk to the phone, did this shit, and tried to see, like, what the hell was, So I realized that my homegirl that made that outburst at the show, she enrolled me into the DC Improv comedy class.
Really?
And that's what got me, because I never would have signed up, because number one, it costs money, and I ain't have it.
Yeah.
So.
What's it, like $400 or something like that?
$395.
Yeah, I mean, because I looked.
Yeah, DC Improv. So, and I would lie to her for years, but like, yeah, you know what? I tried to sign up, they wouldn't let me in. This and the third, blah 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 blah. And so she signed me up, and the classes were beginning, I think, maybe a couple of weeks in advance, like in September. This was around July.
Oh, gotcha.
And so I called her. I said, I got this email saying I got enrolled, and so she said to me, "Yeah, I did it. I paid for it, and you have no more excuses. It's time."
Good.
That's what my friend told
Do
me.
you want to shout her out? I don't know if she's on this or
she's
what.
now my manager. Shout out to Mrs. Cayetana Ricketts Smith.
Yeah, that's amazing.
She's my
my own mother would have never done anything like that. Yeah.
No, so that's what I was like, son, like that's a really good friend.
That's a damn good friend.
Truly,
she's been a friend. Yeah. She's been a better friend to me than I've been to her. I've told her that all the time. We went to middle school together, and in high school and things of that nature, and she really is the one that got away. But I mean, we're better friends. I mean,
good.
Nothing that has ever happened. I mean, this is a platonic friend. We never had sex.
Yeah.
I ate her pussy twice, but goddamn it, that's not the same. We were just practicing, right?
Not at all. It doesn't count.
It's just practice. I mean,
I eat ass for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever.
So she said it was time, and so I did the DC Improv class, and again, reluctantly, you don't want to. I don't want to be here in the center third, yada yada yada. Yeah. But it was just evident that I was the strongest performer in the class.
Really,
I was the strongest performer in the class, and all I did was talk about, masturbating. I didn't have any. I was too afraid to address other subject topics. I mean, that's
interesting though, because that seems so personal. How are you so divorced of that topic when it is so sort of inherently, vulnerable?
Well, I think because I am overweight. Sometimes people think that when you're overweight, you're going to just do a whole bunch of self-deprecation and I hate myself, woe is me kind of jokes, and so it works. But if you know my personality, I don't have low self-esteem. I'm just lazy. And so, I just need 6 straight months of vegetables and the Tabo tape, and I look like you. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Well, hey.
Right. So, but anyway, so I was talking about masturbating, and I did a whole bit. So my graduation show, I did 5 minutes on and at the time I was dating a woman. So I was dating a woman, and she brought her dad out.
Oh.
And I mean, what a terrible way to meet somebody's dad.
Yeah.
Telling these horrible masturbation.
At least you weren't talking about his daughter, though. That's the saving grace, right?
Actually, no. I mean, I included her in the set. I was talking about how we didn't have sex. We just dry humped, and I said. Have you ever gotten some pussy without getting some pussy? It's the greatest thing ever. Dry humping is so awesome. And then I said that she refused to give me some pussy. She always would tell me all the time, I couldn't get my pussy till I followed my dreams. I said, well, God damn it. So that gave me even more incentive to hit up mics.
Yeah.
Like she would, give me head and then act like, have you hit a mic today? I was like, God damn, in the middle of me getting some head.
Yeah.
So.
That's why I'm gay, because men don't ask any questions. It's just, we get right down to business. Like I talked about eating ass earlier. I really should ask more questions. Like, have you cleaned? Today?
Right.
Is it dingleberry to all get out down there, or is it just right?
Well, as a fellow ass eater myself, I will like to, right. It's because we have to promote analingus. We have to promote it, right?
And not fucking analingus.
Yes.
It gets slept on. It does. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's an awesome delicacy. I thought a tossed salad contained vegetables, but it contains diabetes. But anyway, it's raised my A1C level up a couple of points, but I've sealed my fate. Yes, I've sealed my fate. But but the secret to eating ass is you have to bathe the person first.
Yes.
Right.
I love, shower to fucking mouth.
Yeah, well, clearly we have different genders of our casualties, but I can't eat a woman's ass after she done came back from yoga and Zumba class.
Oh, no. I will say though, and this is going to get dirty, so some of my
it's going to get dirty, really.
But it's about me now. I do like to forewarn some of the people who listen who might not enjoy that so much. But I mean,
it's already too late.
It's a little too late. You're here now, but I'll say, but sometimes that's good. I love a little sweat, right? I mean, even if I'm just kissing somebody or like all over them, if I can taste it, I'm like, ooh, now we're getting somewhere, right? And that's part of my fat brain too, because like I did eat a shit ton today, and I won't get into that. That's a little too personal. But I mean, just the taste and flavor of it all. That's part of the sensation for me. Yeah.
So you have an affinity for anal gravy? Is that what you're telling me?
Not even gravy, but I mean, just it's because it's not run off. It's run off, not run out. If that helps to justify it any. I know it sounds a
little salad dressing, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Some vinaigrette on my
salad dressing. Okay, all right.
I prefer that with pussy juice. I don't mind that. Sometimes you don't want no zestfully clean pussy.
Okay.
I don't mind the seasoning a little bit. I don't mind a little bit of sweat. I remember when I tongue raped my last ex-girlfriend.
What the fuck did you say?
I tongue raped her,
Good Lord.
I mean, I just bent her over and just tore a hole in her stockings and just said, and just, and went.
But did she like it? That's what we're concerned about.
Absolutely. I mean, she thought good. I was absolutely crazy. She's like, I haven't washed.
I haven't cleaned. I love when they do that. I really do, because it's like, shut the fuck
do
up.
You really think I care at this present juncture
when I'm tearing your shit off?
Right.
Do you think I'm second guessing anything at this point?
So
as long as you're clean, right? As long as I'm not going to get mouth warts.
We'll see. A lot of people are blaming oral sex on getting cancer, and I mean we have to dispel this myth. I mean.
Like mouth cancer?
Yeah, people have been getting, mouth, tongue, throat cancer, and I've been eating pussy since birth. And I've been eating ass since the 6th grade, and I want to inform you, I have not got a common cold yet. So,
wow.
That's
applause worthy right there. I mean,
the cure to cancer, the cure to COVID isn't eating ass.
Right,
eating
ass was my COVID vaccine, pretty much.
Yeah.
When you bend a woman's ass over, you're pretty much getting all the nutrients and the vitamins and the amino acids and calcium and potassium and manganese and magnesium and all the good shit from the periodic table. My iron is never low. My sugar is never high. Thank God.
Amen.
When you eat a woman's ass, you are saying to her, you can't hide shit from me. So it is. I toss more solid in the Olive Garden, so I
God damn.
Anyway,
that skill of yours.
Sick.
That skill of yours to riff on one thing over, and I don't know how much of this you just have locked away and ready to go, or what, or if it's all just like off the cuff, truly like that. But I mean, that's untaught, and that's why you did so well, or I would assume so.
Oh, thank you.
At that workshop. Oh, of course. And I'm only 24 saying this, so take it with a grain of salt. But I mean, when I see people who just have that effortless way of going on and on about something, but it's like you're unraveling it. You're not necessarily just slapping us with it over and over again. It's
like a dick. But anyway,
like a dick, but like a dick that keeps on giving, right? And it gets deeper and deeper with each stroke.
It's a comedy term, and that's the thing that I do enjoy about now being professional, is that you can learn terminologies that you do instinctively, but now it's like, oh, that's what that means. Mm-hmm. So in that essence, it's called tagging.
Yeah.
Where you pretty much,
exactly.
You talk about an issue and you just beat it to death. But
how many of your tags are planned versus unplanned?
Well, that all goes into writing.
Yeah.
And so
I don't have that skill, right? I can write maybe like. I can write up to 4 tags for a joke.
Yeah.
And I'll come up with them.
Yeah.
I'll come up with them usually on the fly at mics. And I realize, I could go this way with it a little bit. And then let me remember that later.
Well, tags are universal the more you think.
Uh-huh.
And so the way that I was taught and the way I was challenged is that you write clean. That's something that most people don't do. You write clean because in the event that you get, and I'm pretty sure that you'll have your opportunity to get a paid gig, but clean shows, they pay more.
Uh-huh.
And so when you do clean shows, you don't have to worry about cursing or whatever. But then when you go to a more raunchier room, then you can pick and choose when to insert some of the dirty words that you want to do it. But if you at least are clean, then you are, in my opinion, a lot more pure.
Yeah.
And then I tell people all the time, if you write, the jokes will just come. They'll just fall right out of the sky.
Yeah.
And so, when I write, at the times when I do write, because there's a difference between writing manually and when you are writing mentally. Mm-hmm. So when you write mentally, you're just saying it over and over and over and over and over. And
right,
it's even if it's before an audience, or even if you're just saying it to yourself in the car and just like, oh, that's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. And so you'll beat yourself over the head and trying to work it out so you can get it to where you wanted to get it, so that when you are in front of an actual audience, it comes out natural. Huh. And a lot of it is just trying to build your confidence up.
It took me a while just to have that confidence to take a risk on something that I haven't tested yet, that I came up with in the moment.
Yeah.
And it usually that's where liquor's helpful, because it's like, my inhibitions are lower. It's like, I'm just going to go for this, and I don't care if anybody laughs or not. And sometimes those are the most fulfilling moments too. When it's like when I add a tag in on the fly and it works, and then I'm feeling myself. I might try a couple more, and they don't work, and I'm like, okay, well, okay. And then that's usually actually when I'll turn away and be like, okay, so they like this, and then that gets laughed.
Right.
That's kind of baked in. At this
it's a mental chess game, and the audience, there's a psychology to an audience's reaction and laughter, because it's kind of hard when you go to different mics and you have different styles, but most audiences are very, very ashamed of what they find funny when it's presented to them.
Well, it just I find that can be the case if what's presented to them is inherently controversial.
Yeah,
right? I mean, because I love what you said about you should write clean, or just even from the perspective of you. I try to write from a place that everybody can relate to.
Yes,
I'm not just going out there being like I'm gay, fuck off, or if I might, I'm not a Christian in particular. If I know a lot of the audience could be, I'm not going out of my way to piss off people who are super religious or anything. That's not what I have in mind. There are people that do. There are people that are firebrands in that way that just want to. And that's why I asked you in the beginning. I'm like, do you enjoy? Because you were talking about the white lady table, and it's like, do you like pissing them off? Because that's not my bag. I would never, because they could kill me.
Well, no, I don't think a comedian should intentionally go on stage with the blatant attempt. I'm just going to sit here and piss you off. But sometimes, something that you have to say, the audience is not expecting for them to hear that.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is that the worst thing that an audience wants to do is to think and be challenged and be like, oh my God. And now, and that's why sometimes when I call myself the hellbound heathen is because I don't mind taking on that kind of, that I don't mind taking the hit for the way that I think.
Yeah.
So I'm up here. It's okay. I'll go to hell for everybody.
No, I love that.
Laughter is not going to resist your trip to heaven. You know, God is not that manipulative. He's not that vindictive.
Sure.
So
we're of the same mind. Yeah, I mean, even the other night I was at Brandon Moore's mic, and I'll have that video soon. I hope in the next 12 months. I mean, he's got a great spot. I don't know if you've been yet. It's in Woodbridge. It's the Clearbrook Center of the Arts, and
it's on Thursdays.
It's on Tuesday, so it's kind of a funnel after Dwayne's Tuesday mics, because the Electric Palm starts at like 7:30, but then Brandon starts at I want to say at 8:30, and it goes until about 11.
Okay,
but they record your sets for you in high def, and then they put it all together, or they say they do in the background. So I have yet. Hey, look.
Yeah, I'll come. Next Tuesday.
I'm calling y'all out. I have yet to see any evidence.
Yeah, I'll come next Tuesday.
Good. Yes, it's a great time. So I was at that one. I didn't go to the Electric Palm because that was before I figured out the trick with my 401k, which I was broke as fuck. I could not afford to be there. But there's it's an art center, so there's no dedicated bar or nothing. You don't have to buy. It's actually BYOB. So you come bring your own drinks, have a good time. You get recorded for free. And so I was up there, and there was a lady in the front row that I could tell she was kind of like, giving me one of these, like, I don't know about you.
Right.
And so I kind of laser in on her, and I'm smiling, I'm trying to be welcoming, like, it's okay, loosen up.
Right.
And then she starts giggling a little. You see her bounce a little bit, like the silent laughter. She's getting into it. And then I hit her with, I said some type of traffic bit that I've been doing for a while now, where I was like, you ever been on the road driving, and you see one of those crosses on the side of the road, right? That people leave when there's usually like a fatal traffic accident. It's a good way to commemorate somebody's death. But I think, when you're driving on the road and you see one of those, the people who put them up, really, they should be obligated to include some type of plaque, or, sign, just enough room to house all the names of people who were stuck in traffic that day as a result of the negligent driving behavior. Because that's what's going to stop them from pulling off the road and burning your shit down, when they see it and they remember being late to work 4 hours that morning because Jenny had to go get a fucking kickball in the street. And this lady, you could tell she's reserved. She's like, I don't want to laugh at this, but he's right.
Right.
I felt that.
And see, the more they fight it, then the more I'm like, oh, I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
And, because, they are so mortified. I'm like, just admit you like this.
Just admit it.
Just admit you like it.
Give in.
But see, a lady like that, then I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to say something that is just so beyond her comprehension. Yeah. Either she's going to get up and leave, or she's going to have a good time. And I think it was the late great Patrice O'Neal. God, I miss that guy. He said that no audience should all be having a good time. He said no either it should be half the audience enjoying themselves and the other half should be mortified. He's like, I love it when people get up and leave. Now I take umbrage to it. I'm like, damn, I must have pissed somebody off. But he's like, I love
well, normal people would. Yeah. Normal people don't like pissing people off, and that's what I wanted to see about you. I was like, I don't know. Hey, this guy might.
It's not
enjoy
intentional.
It. No,
it's not intentional.
But it's also a blessing in some ways because when people do get up and leave, that lets you know, okay, at least I'm working with people who want to be here.
Right.
You know, at this point, you do feel bad that they felt isolated or they felt like they couldn't stay in the room. But at the same time, it's like it's probably for the best. Because that's what's what prevents them from maybe speaking up during your set, right? Throwing everything off, you know.
Well, I told a crowd one time, I said, well, I'm not responsible for the barometer of your bitch ass sensitivity, and so I mean, I unfortunately I didn't email anybody, and I took a poll of joke topics. So I mean, forgive me for having a perspective on my life, and so, but I think that's your job as a comedian, is to invite people in. How do you see the world?
Definitely.
And some people are going to, and there's nothing wrong with having disagreements, but what you can't say is my perspective doesn't matter. And I mean,
people will try and try as they might. I mean, the more popularity you gain, the more traction, or even just any amount of laughter is what keeps you going, right?
Yeah, and you only do a show to do a show.
Yes,
you only do a show to do a show. And and so there are going to be some people that are going to enjoy it, and then there are going to be some people who are going to hate your guts.
Yeah.
But I think the courage is performing before the courage is performing before the hatred. It's
anticipating it. Yeah, it can be hard, but it's you got to have balls.
In front of people that love you, and people who are going to just sit here and just and enjoy you. But try going up in front of a crowd that is raunchy, and it doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter your gender, sexual orientation, but they have a collective I hate you, hurry up, do your shit, get off stage, and then within 3 minutes, like, oh, wait a minute, he has talent. I might enjoy myself if I listen.
Yeah, and it's also
that's a challenge.
It's also a big con too. Yeah. That's what people don't understand. I mean, it's a huge grift. You have to have confidence when you do this shit, man, because if you get up there in a room full, in your case, full of white reserved women, that's gonna feel tricky, but it won't look tricky to them if you carry yourself like you belong there.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, y'all are here on my time, right? I'm going to do my stuff. And, doors open if you want to enjoy it.
I'm at work right now.
Exactly.
I don't come
professionally unpaid work, but work nonetheless.
You never lie, professionally unpaid. You would think that if everyone is in the room having a good time, they would at least
throw you a little something.
Here's, but see, comedy is the only endeavor in which people who are good can't get paid what they're worth.
Yeah.
It's the only endeavor.
Yeah.
And there is no official pay scale, but I mean, I used to think, and I still think, and that's another reason why I didn't start comedy until I was 34, was just because of the fact that my mother always said, comedy don't pay no bills. You better take your black ass to college. And so, so that was another reason, because something just told me that I always had the dream. I never had the drive.
Yeah.
So, but
me neither. Yeah. This is me taking that risk now.
Yeah. But you said you're 24.
Yeah.
I wish I had 24.
But it's the thing of maybe say it didn't go well that first time.
Yeah.
I would have just like you did with that first set, you being thrust into it, I would have sat on my ass for another, 2, 5, 10 years and not even thought about it.
Yeah, but I think even though it's a young man's game, in my opinion, I'm just thankful because, I think that I present a different type of story that will resonate as to why it took so long. When I was 24, I was joining a fraternity. That was what I was more focused on. All of my friends were getting married, and that was making even me more depressed because, I thought we going to use our 20s to pretty much piss away life and fuck hoes and then come back and talk about it. But no, these idiots want to hurry up and get married for no reason and leave me out here in the cold.
Bummer.
Right. So I mean, and people always say that there never is an actual age to start doing comedy, but you kind of don't have. I don't have the same patience and the same kind of energy that I did when I was 24, and I mean. But Rodney Dangerfield didn't really pop until he was like 45, like George Burns, Bob Hope. I mean, they were in their 50s in their prime. So that kind of gives a little bit of humility. But I mean, if I had my chance, I mean, I wish I would have had the cachet to tell my parents after I graduated high school, fuck college, I'm gonna become a comedian. But I don't think I would have been able to live in my mother's house.
Well, the thing, right. Well, here's if you could go back in time, I'll give you what worked for me. Right, is you have to fumble the bag. You really have to fucking be a real fucking disappointment. you have to have a plan or somewhat of one. And mine was joining the military to play trumpet. I enlisted in the Marine Corps. Yeah, and then I failed out of basic training. Right, and then what? And then,
what, you fucked up on Reveille? What?
Yeah, oh my God, it was just a nightmare. I wasn't ready to go. The recruiters were pushing for me to get in there because there was a shortage of trumpet players, right? But the thing was, it was I didn't meet none of the strength requirements. None of the there's like an initial strength test you're supposed to take before you could get there. None of it, but they were like, hey, he's gonna be fine. They'll put him in conditioning and all that. Conditioning was full. They threw me straight into training, and it's just I looked like a Holocaust survivor when I got out of there, man. I'm not even, I could see my rib cage for the first time ever. That shit was crazy. I still had a big ass. I had a huge ass the whole time. Never lost that.
Don't ask, don't tell. But anyway,
don't ask, don't tell. And but I just was gaunt, right? And I, they ended up getting dropped so many times and opting to leave. But you come back here living with your parents, right? In my case, just like you said, working odd jobs, doing whatever I could to, help contribute a little bit. And then I got an opportunity to work somewhere where I met Lorenzo here. It was an opportunity to manage a grocery store that would never really come to fruition, but I ended up working at this fucking grocery store for a good year and some change. We hit it off. We started what we would end up doing now for the next 2 years. We started that in 2021.
Awesome.
And then I would come back here with like money. And, now nobody can say shit to me because, I basically split rent, with my parents, whoever. We're relying on each other, you know what? So it's no more of this nagging me to do things that I'm, not as good at as I am with doing this shit. And ultimately what I would like to see myself doing is producing or performing in some capacity.
Yeah, I think you have a natural cachet for it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. The way you have this room set up, I mean, it could be a podcast room or it could be a porno scene room.
Appreciate that too.
I mean,
we're looking into the OnlyFans capability.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
told you earlier we sold the bang bus that we had that I was living in before this.
I've whacked off to plenty of lesbian scenes in a room like this,
just like this,
right? So
and that's what I was going for,
right? Really. But yeah, and I mean the sky's the limit. I mean, especially you have youth on your side. I mean, these next 6 years from 24 to 30 are going to be so influential and so important for your growth and development, no matter where you take it, whether it be the stage, whether it be production. I just wish that when I was 24 to 30, I had my mind on doing this as opposed to trying to, love the wrong woman and
I get what you're saying because I have the same thing. I'm like, why didn't I start this as soon as I left high school? Fuck all the bullshit I was doing up to this, because this is what I really love right now.
Yeah,
and I had no idea about it, and that's just the thing. Though. I had no idea.
When I hear Dave Chappelle and Eddie Murphy started when they were 15 years old.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I don't want to just name drop all night, but there's this really hysterical guy. I'd love to get in touch with him and figure something out with this, but his name's David Balaghese. I don't know if you've seen this kid.
Yeah, Dave, yeah.
He's what, like 18 or something, or 22, but he started when he was 18, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is going? How did you even figure this out? Right?
Yeah.
How did you do the math to figure out I could get in there? The other night it was at I saw him and I saw this other kid who was like who was 18, this little white kid with acne and shit. And I'm like, why are you in here? Why are you in a bar with a bunch of deadbeat people in a dive bar at the Crystal City fucking sports pub?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you don't belong. And that was part of his jokes. He was like, I don't know if I should be in here or what. It's like, well, you shouldn't. And I don't know how you figured it out. God damn it. I wish I did.
And so much love goes out to a brother like David Balaghese because, again, he started young. But it's also a matter of where you're from and the surroundings and whom you're connected with. For me, I wasn't connected to anyone in the comedy world.
Me neither.
I had no idea. I would.
I love watching it, but that seems so far removed.
I had no problem being a fan, but again, it just seemed
you're like that's Hollywood, or that's
I had no idea that there were comedy clubs that were right down the street from where I lived.
Not at all.
Had no idea. It's just a matter, a strike of luck and a strike of just. Again, it could be destiny, it could be fate. And David is he has a lot of promise. And
sheesh.
And when the light clicks on, he's going to be a force. And that's the thing that you search for when you do this thing where when the light is on and it's like everything you say, word for word, thought for thought, laugh for laugh, it just comes and comes and comes and comes, like orgasms. But anyway,
what an excellent footnote. And you, sir, I will say, are a force yourself, Mr. Carleton.
Well, thank you
Murrell.
so much.
I had a great time. Lorenzo had a great time. I can see him nodding there.
Lorenzo ain't said shit all damn podcast. Were we boring you, sir?
Look,
you ain't asked me not one question. Say no, I'm playing.
I was like, y'all cool. I was like, damn, there's spots I could jump in, but these motherfuckers is running like a goddamn VHS tape. I'm like, they going.
No, I heard you. But by the way, you were moaning in the background. I thought you was getting some head for a minute. You were like,
Oh, he's saying, he's like, don't tell anybody.
That's why you can only see. Well, Christian can only see my top half.
Because Christian likes to watch. So
I'm a voyeur. What can I say?
Right. Even if it is my friend who's straight, but it doesn't matter. As long as there's a man up there, just.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
That's. But Christian, you're a cool gay. You're a cool gay
Thank
man.
you.
Some of these gay dudes are very obnoxious.
Well, I'm a straight gay. It's the thing, right? I'm not flamboyant. I'm not, because I'm a top. I'll say that. That's no secret.
Something told me that you were. I didn't want to ask.
I don't care. I do the eating. I'm not eating or none of. But I don't know if that's not necessarily the case with all people either. What is it? You know?
Is that some gay men act like women and women are annoying?
Okay.
And that's what it is.
So you guys are just misogynistic. Understood?
No.
I'm grouping you into this as well.
No,
Carl. But Lorenzo speaks for all people.
No, but the reason why I said that is because some. Fuck it. Okay, most gays are so obnoxious because being gay cannot be your entire identity.
No, it can't.
It just can't.
I cannot reinforce this enough. And I feel like the jokes I do sometimes, I'm like, okay, a lot of my material is circling or cycling around my sexual orientation, just because there are observations I make while having sex that I think are funny.
Yeah,
but that's all that is. But for people that's their whole deal, in and out of comedy, in and out of performance. That's just their lifestyle, is letting everybody know how they take it every which way, and yes, queen, like that to me is obnoxious personally, unless we're already friends and I get their whole deal on a deeper, more personal level. Just to be that way and to be that flagrant from the get out of the gate, that cannot be more.
My question is, if you didn't suck dick, would you be funny?
Yeah.
What else can you talk about?
Exactly.
And I don't want to have a confrontation with the gay man. I'm tired of having to regress my behavior and my manhood. It's like, sir, just take my order. No one cares about your.
I would say this guy is an excellent example of a fantastic gay working comic today. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mateo Lane. It's not his whole deal. Gay is not being his whole.
Well, you can look at him and tell he's gay.
You can look at him and tell he's gay. Yeah. But I mean, just the same.
I don't care. But
just the same as if I were to admit it to everybody, they might put two and two together, but then we get on with life. Yeah. And then I do the rest of my set, and then it doesn't necessarily totally revolve around the fact that I'm gay.
I mean, Ellen DeGeneres can do an entire 60-minute set and not mention her orientation.
Yeah, this guy is the same way when he wants to be.
She's a comedian. I mean, and nothing against it, but I mean, you get so, and I mean, I'm all for the confidence and this and that, the third, and you want to celebrate yourself. That's why I put him on this pedestal now, just because through all the pictures I'm pulling up, you could tell he's doing photo shoots, being gay, whatever. But his sets are just his sets, you know? And then being gay is just something you already have in the back of your head that you know about this person because that's who they are, right? Being your sexual orientation, whether you're gay or straight, is not part of your DNA. It's not a part of your character traits. It's just what you do behind closed doors. Lesbian women are nuts. I want to tell these hoes, bitch, you are not a man. You are not a man. And I'm not going to call you T-Bone Teresa, bitch. I'm not going to do that. And get the fuck out of my bathroom.
Oh, come on.
For your safety, get out of my bathroom.
Yeah, you're going to blow it up.
Right.
Sure.
I mean,
it's going to be a nuclear explosion.
How you sequester your vagina don't have shit to do with me, If a bitch can bleach, she can get this seed. So I mean, I don't have time to, So
I don't try to get into political views or moralistic views. I did recently make an Instagram post that was pretty. I was calling out people who make a big deal about gay topics as pertain to education and all the bathroom talk and crazy dumb litter box bullshit that gets brought up that doesn't exist.
It's amazing. They want to promote homosexuality, but they don't want to talk about slavery. It's a ridiculous.
I mean, there are some places where you should definitely start.
How you want to manipulate the education of the world?
Yeah. You gotta think though. One makes America money, and the other doesn't. Well, I mean, actually, technically, both do in different ways. Though, you gotta keep the one on the low so you can keep making money, and you gotta promote the other because you can make money off of it.
This isn't a conspiracy pod. I want to reinforce for the listeners. This is not the Joe Rogan experience.
I'm not quite sure, but I just think that there is some dangerous precedents now in society when it revolves, how you try to shape and mold the minds of young children.
But I will say this though. I'll say this right now. All this talk about all the anti-gay legislation and people's vitriol toward gay and trans rights all that is to distract from greater issues. It doesn't serve anybody to rag and punch down at people who are just trying to be themselves openly and unabashedly. All it does is it takes away from talks about reparations. It takes away from talks about homelessness. It takes away from talks about shit that actually matters to real working Americans.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's getting rights but blacks. I mean,
Sure.
I mean, there could be a tragedy with Asians. 4 Asians die, and all of a sudden you see a march with, all these Asians or whatnot. Talk about stop the Asian hate, but Asians ain't never hung on trees. So stop the nigga hate. So it's just a very, very tough time, and that's why you need comedy to bring forth the laughter, to bring forth the truth, to bring forth an outlet, and to be able to speak your mind and speak your voice. And it's hard to do that now because the truth is being reduced to opinions and being reduced to what is popular now as opposed to what's funny. And some people are getting attacked on stage for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, and in that same way that punching down is just a distraction. Yeah, that's my least favorite style of comedy, the pandering, right?
Yeah.
The clearly going into the safest room, doing the safest thing, and basically just preaching and getting the same way Roseanne Barr does now on fucking Fox with her dumbass specials to just just basically just sucking Trump off on stage, or the same way that Amy Schumer might have gone out and been like, women, yay, and done nothing else the whole night but steal jokes. Those sorts of
talk your shit, Christian.
Not to call out women specifically, but I'm just saying that those are the sorts of, or even like Adam Conover and people like that who just like their whole existence is to reinforce shit that they're already on the side of and that everyone already loves and is rooting for them, and to do little else. That doesn't amuse me.
No,
I like people who take risks in the way that you did the other night in a room of people that might not have been receptive to it, and I hope that I showed in my responses that I was appreciative of that.
Comedy is a lot like sex. The more noise you make, the more encouragement the performer has. So I am incredibly humbled, not just you being in the audience, but just being on stage. Period.
Yeah. That's the that's the curse, or that's the mental illness. It's just we want stage time.
Right.
We just want to. We want that. What'd you say? That loud silence or whatever. That feeling. That storm. That quiet storm.
But even in silence, there's a difference between silence as opposed to where there's deafening, because sometimes the audience is just listening to you.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, but you can tell when an audience has just shifted their overall attention, and it's like, yo,
so here we go.
I've checked out. Sometimes having that overall like serene silence is good. Not every joke has to hit, but every thought has to be heard.
Yeah,
and that's a very good serene feeling.
It's good, and even if you lock eyes with one person and you're like, you're with me, I'm having a good time, and then you can carry on. Then you can look away and know at least somebody's listening.
Yeah, because laughter is infectious.
Oh yeah, it'll work its magic.
And it'll slowly, because while you were laughing, those 3 white women were getting mortified, but they didn't want to miss out. They didn't want to miss out, and then when I started talking about Will Smith, they were like, "Oh my god!"
They're all great. I think part of them too was just that they were tired. Gerda Blesdo, Gigi Blesdo she's fantastic. That's the soccer mom lady. Yeah. And then I'm so, she'll never see this, so I don't actually feel bad. But it was the lesbian lady who wrote the book. Her name's Diane.
Yeah, she's funny. Yeah.
She's funny. But they're all sitting at the table. There's something about performing to a room of nobody and then getting off stage and just kind of feel like, okay, now I got to sit here for the rest of the night. I think that's kind of what they were going through in that moment, because they had already been they'd done their time and they're just waiting to get the fuck out of there at that moment.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because you have some people that will go up early, perform, and most of the time it's dog shit.
Yeah.
Dog shit.
And then they dip out
they leave as if they done something.
It's like maybe sit and learn something.
Right. You might get
figure out
blessed,
what you did wrong.
I did my 5 minutes of where I pretty much shit the bed, and
as long as you're leaving out of embarrassment, I'm okay with that. But if you're leaving thinking, job well done, let's peace the fuck out.
Well, see, the way that I learned is if you stink up the room, you need to stay and take the ass whipping that comes afterwards. And normally there's going to be a comedian that's going to talk shit about you, and it's deservedly so, because you've brought down the morale. You've ruined it for the people coming behind.
But take it like a champ. Smile.
Take it like a man.
Enjoy it. And that's what I do. Like I'll be red in the face, but I'll be laughing till I'm like, that was me. I fucked it all up for everybody.
But see, that's going to get you better for the time in which when the next time you come on stage, you're like, yo, I have to be prepared. I have to be professional. I have to have something to say, and
it's not all bad too, though. And if you stay, it's a good thing, because what you've done is you've given that person who has the wherewithal to call you out, you've given them a gift, because now he's able to relate to everybody in that fucking room who saw you ruin it.
They're all thinking the same thing,
and they're all thinking the same thing.
Stage.
Get off the stage, and then they'll just go in and they'll lap it up.
Joke after joke is worse.
Yes,
God.
Yes, but if you stay after and you take it like you take your lumps, and you understand that there's places to improve, those people will come pull you aside.
Yeah,
some of them are meaner than others. Yeah, but I will say the majority is here's what you need to work on. Don't take it personally. You did the right thing staying the whole time, and come back again and try it again. Maybe don't go on at first. Maybe don't go on first, but give it a shot.
Food for thought. I don't listen to anyone that's not funny. I mean, if you can't get,
that's why you weren't listening to me.
No, not at all. No. But what I'm saying is that people misconstrue tenure with talent. So you may have someone who will tell you, I've been doing this for 15 years and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you've been doing this for 15 years, but I saw you on stage and nobody laughed.
Yeah.
So I mean, are you a comedian or are you a delusional humorist?
Yeah, tenure just jades people. Yeah, mostly because they're like, I killed a week ago. Doesn't matter, because comedy is the one job you can't get fired from. Yeah. You're doing it on your dime. Yeah,
so are you really a comedian or are you loitering on stage?
Oh yeah.
So if you're not someone that's able to generate the same kind of response from a crowd as I had, that you just previously saw me do, I mean, I'll listen, but it's like kind of like, dude, because you can't tell. Because here's another thing: there's no quicker way to get into a fight than tell someone that they're not funny.
Yeah.
No. People who are not funny are crushing. So quick to
because they didn't realize it.
They'll do anything.
They're not willing to accept it, right? They're lying to themselves being on that stage in the first place.
God. Where is John Moran? I have your next subject right here. Where's the DC Cypher? Anybody? People who are not funny, they do something to my spirit.
I would, but here's the difference. I would never tell somebody that to their face, but you just hope, you fingers crossed the whole night that you're like, I hope something changes in their head, that they either get it together or get the fuck out of here and they never show their face here again.
There are certain comedians, when I enter a room, I am like, God damn it, I should have just stayed home. Because you have to be professional.
I'm glad that the shit talking portion of the podcast is at the tail end. Really, the uplifting in the beginning. We're talking about.
Because comedians are afraid to have comedy therapy. Where we can't really, grieve and really share. And it's also a unwritten, unspoken rule to denigrate another performer, but if you ask for it, you ask for it. I'm sorry.
No, I laugh harder when people are bombing sometimes, and that's unfortunate because it draws attention to me. But I'll just be in the back like,
but sometimes when people bomb, they may say something in the delivery that like, yo, I can see how that can be funny.
Yeah.
But because he's bombed the previous 3 minutes and 45
because
seconds.
He's sweating and shaking at this point, or just like checked out.
Or when they acknowledge it, like, I'm bombing on here. Like, we know, motherfuckers.
It's like, you don't have to win us over.
Right. Or get the fuck off the stage.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. When people are bombing, they seem like they get the most stage time.
It just depends.
Fuck will bomb and it will take them 10 minutes.
It also just feels longer, yeah, because we're all going through it, right?
Meanwhile, it seems to me like when you're killing, they can't wait to give you that bomb. They can't wait to give you that light. I mean, you can be killing. You just got up there and they can't wait to sit here and wave that light. Like, okay, well, fine. Yeah. You're an asshole.
They're checking the time. They're like, when the fuck is my not working?
No.
Yeah, no.
Or another thing is that, and trust me, you'll get this as you continue to progress.
Oh yeah.
You're going to come to a place where you're going to enter a comedy room, and you may put your name on the list fourth, and then in come all these other people, but because whoever's running the room, they know you, they'll ask, hey, can you go last? And so you have to sit and watch, this.
Oh, just because they know it'll be a softer blow because you're already you know each other.
Well, not even that, but I mean, it's kind of like
I'd have trouble understanding why would they ask the person that they know or that they're friendly with.
Well, it's not about they know your reputation. They've seen you perform.
Yeah.
So
they know you're going to be good at the end.
So having to go last, but maybe you don't want to go last.
Yeah.
Because people will get up and leave, but a lot of people don't want to be. A lot of people are not very good at going behind someone that can produce heat.
For sure.
And so they're like, well, we'll just back you down. You'll go last. But I mean, going last, just like, but I'm still being punished because I got to go up after 10 people. And there's, this.
There's not shit in it for you. I mean,
it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's not like you're getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing.
I mean,
in this.
What if I had somewhere I wanted to go after this? What if I wanted to? What if I want to get the audience when it was at its height? And
do you ever have trouble speaking up for yourself even now? Is that something you run into?
I mean, I ask, but sometimes hey, look, man, you because what will happen is you'll get this is like, hey man, these guys are just starting out, man. So they're not really all that good. They're not really all that seasoned. So how about you just? And I mean, if it's I got time, and I don't want to be a prick, but because also if you know that you are good, it's going to happen where you're going to have to work at your humility. Comedy is also another endeavor in which you as the individual, you can't project the obvious of your talent. So, and people will label you that you're being arrogant, but I mean, if you're funny, you're funny.
Yeah.
And you should deserve to give yourself flowers.
I try to be humble, I will say, in most places, just because I am humbled by most places, right? I walk in a room, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to hang back. If somebody needs me, they'll tap me, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling anybody aside. I'm not poking anybody, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm waiting. I signed up, I'm waiting, right? But like, I get what you're saying. And I have in other fields, in music and other things, I've been at the point where I'm like, these motherfuckers know me.
Yeah.
Let me do my time. Let me do whatever I'm here to do. Get the fuck out of here. And I'm not here to play games.
Yeah,
right?
but
I can't wait to get to that point in comedy. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
And trust me, it'll come. You said you only been doing comedy for how long?
Just a half a year now.
Yeah, 6 months. You know, by your 6th year, people are going to be in. Here's another thing that I do enjoy. Is when people are on their way leaving, and if I walk into a room, they'll ask, "Hey, are you going up?"
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna stay and watch you. You know, and so that's also a gift and a curse in itself as well, because it's like, oh well, shit. Now someone is really here, and so now I got to think of something that I know that hasn't been said before.
Yeah, because you were going in there to work out new shit 9 times out of 10, but now you're like, nah, I got to bring the house down.
So those are the perks of when you're trying to establish yourself and becoming something that you want to be, the kind of comedian that you would want to pay to see.
Yeah,
you know, that's the goal, to be something that number one, you've never seen before, and also be the kind of person that, you know, there are certain comedians I will spend money every time they come to town. And I would love to have that kind of reputation where I always have a repeated customer.
Yeah, make a connection with some people, man, that they want to see you. That's, you know, that's the goal.
The dope game and the joke game are synonymous. You know, there's no difference.
You need somebody addicted.
Yeah, we're just selling a different product. That's it. You know, whether you need laughs or whether you need drugs, you know, the audience are all junkies. Right, so.
Well, Mr. Murrell, where are you selling next? I hate to cut this short at an hour and a half.
It's time to go.
It's already 10:30. I see Lorenzo. He said 10, but he's stuck around. He's addicted. You've already got a customer here. You got him half an hour over.
Yeah.
I got your Instagram here. Is there anything on there?
Oh my goodness, that's me up there. October 7th, I will be in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and we'll be doing that. Everything else is pretty much old.
It's this one right here.
Yeah, I'll be doing that. And the thing about this is that I'll be doing this with my frat brothers. So,
oh wow.
You know, Omega Psi Phi fraternity in the house, please shout out. So we'll be doing that October 7th. And I'll just be hitting up other mics until, you know, my name gets called. October, let me see, what is it? October 5th. I'll be in Smyrna, Delaware for a comedy competition. Cash prize is $1,000.
Okay.
So it's over for a 5-week period.
Is this a voting situation or like a cheering in the room?
Well, it's a combination of both. So there's a panel of judges, and they're looking for, you know, originality, confidence, stage presence, this, and third. Also, audience reaction, laugh volume, things of that nature. And then at the end of the show, there's going to be a big showcase. And then, you know, the top guys get, first prize is $1,000, second prize is $500, third prize is $250, fourth prize is $100, fifth prize is $1,350. So it's
big money.
Yeah, big money. And so
I wonder who calculated that. Right. Is it like exponentially lower each time, or what?
And so I want everyone to do well, but I'm not traveling to Delaware for 5 weeks straight to be a sportsman. So
for a McDouble meal.
Yeah, you know, I want to make this money. So
definitely, and you will. Hey, your rate, from what I've seen, that's all yours.
Yeah,
can't wait to hear about how well you clean it.
For that Smyrna thing ahead of time, or how's that work?
You said what now, sir?
You gotta sign up for that Smyrna thing ahead of time, or?
Yeah, I was in a previous competition, and so this is like the winners of the winners of the winners. So yeah, I was invited to come back.
Good.
Yeah. But if you want to look it up on Facebook, it's called Explore DE. Explore DE. And they are gonna sponsored by Al Carroll and Don Hines.
Is it this one here?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
awesome.
That's the young gentleman right there. Man goes by the name of Dream.
Okay.
Yeah. Dream with a J. J-R. Yeah.
All right. Explore D. Check it out, you guys. If you can make it, please do. The good thing about our show is that we have at least one person listening each time. So you may just see them there. And I really do. Hey, listen, man, I really do thank you for coming out here and doing this. You know, you drove an hour for this. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man.
Good. I mean, we had a good time, didn't we? I mean, this was. It flew by. It flew by. We had somebody come on here, first remotely, who threw up during the recording. They threw up. They were so into what we were doing 11 minutes in that they couldn't even get up to use the bathroom to throw up, and they did it all over the floor.
Damn, you had Willie Beeman on the show, man. My name is Willie Beeman. So,
oh boy! But he came back through, bless his heart, and we did a full 2 hours. It was a lot of fun. But I mean, I'll be damned if I piss myself on my own. But I've drunk nearly a whole bottle of water here. That's never happened. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna have Lorenzo at the end of the podcast. We do a segment where Lorenzo gives everybody some advice, maybe about some of the stuff we've talked about. Maybe if we watch clips, he'll give advice to the people who were dying in an ambulance of the clip we watched. We watch a lot of fight videos. If you could give any advice pertaining to what we discussed, Lorenzo, what would it be? And we'll go ahead and play the music. You have the duration of my bathroom break. Go for it.
All right, here's my advice. Everybody go check out Carleton Murrell. Go check him out at the little joint in Smyrna. You know what I'm saying? I might be there. I'm actually not too far from Smyrna. I didn't even know they was having the competitions, but I got a man that do a little bit of comedy. He from out that way. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell me they was doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I still on?
Nah, yeah, you still.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's at the Smyrna Opera House in Smyrna, Delaware.
Damn, I'll probably pop up, watch it. I guess shit. Since it's too late to enter, I was like, oh, hold on, they got money like that.
Yeah. So are you also a comedian as well, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, but so you live up there?
Yeah, I'm close to it. I'm probably maybe 30 minutes from it. I'm not that far from Smyrna at all.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
That's why we do remote, because I'm all the way out here for now.
So where are you? Are you in Dover or are you in Wilmington?
Oh no, I'm in Maryland. I'm in Salisbury.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah.
But I've been up. My first open mic. My first one was in Baltimore, and I've been to whatchamacallit, to the Dwayne White's thing. I've performed in DC before. Yeah. So I've done my stuff out that way, but yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, by all means, I'm always promoting and pushing, getting on stage and going everywhere you can, and also getting out your comfort zone. If you want to be great, get out the state. You are gonna have to get on this road. You're gonna have to burn up gas. You're gonna have to burn up your engine. You're gonna have to burn up your tires, all the tread, and because there's so much out there than just where you are. So and when you get to these places, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your community to represent, because people hate it when people come in from out of nowhere and they're doing well. So so it's more than just, I'm representing Stafford, Virginia, or Salisbury, Maryland. You're also representing just overall comedy in itself. So when you go to these different cities, man, you have the responsibility to put on, because you never know who's in the audience. There'll be somebody else be like, hey, I got another show on this date and time, and So make sure that you do well every time you hit the stage. Strive for excellence. Strive to be great. Every opportunity is an opportunity.
Yes, and if you're ever in the audience of Mr. Carleton Murrell, you're in for a treat after this podcast. Please, you guys, on Instagram, check out CDM Ignorance Ministry. Please give that a follow.
Also, my YouTube as well.
Oh, what's that now?
CDM Ignorance Ministry.
Okay, good. What do you do on YouTube?
It's just a catalog of all my videos, performances.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you were like a TikToker too. Out there vlogging.
I have good performances. I have bad performances, but they're all
there. Yeah,
they're all.
I do that, but it's a private playlist.
Yeah,
for me to cry to at night.
I need to start posting my shit. So I record them. I was just thinking about that earlier. I record them and they just sit on my phone. I don't even do nothing with them.
I upload them so I can get them the fuck off my memory cards and phone.
Yeah, but if you record yourself, because this is your resume to other promoters.
Yeah,
this is your resume. So
get down to Brandon's. It's called Last Laugh. Check it out
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, yes, sir.
I'll be there. I'll be there. This coming Tuesday. I'll
see you there because it's a good time. I think the only clip I've seen of it, I'll pull that up and then we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But I'll pull it up if I can even find it. But it's have you seen Ms. Robinson, Angie Robinson before?
I've heard of her. I've never seen her though.
Let me see here. I think it's YCC Entertainment is the Instagram. Yep, there we go. We're getting there. Yeah, here she is. This is what it looks like.
I'm gonna fit some more food in my mouth. That's
okay.
I'm definitely going to do that. Hell yeah, I'm so glad there was a Burger King
it's high
around that
def,
corner.
It's like
yes, me and all these rolls, we are fucking happy. Me and this pussy roll, we are A-okay. I do. I got a pussy roll.
That's Sizzo. That
pussy
ain't Lizzo.
Excuse me. Pussy apron. That's what.
No, you did not.
It covers all the goods.
This is my girl right here.
But I always tell people, it's okay being fat. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? When I go like this, my stomach is flat.
Yeah.
It's flat.
She must not have diabetes. It's a nightmare. Fuck that. I'm trying to lose weight.
She said the L is silent. You gotta cut her some slack.
I mean.
Please.
I am not promoting being overweight. I'll do anything to
But you can see it all in high definition is the point. At Brandon's mic for free, right? I mean, it's a good service.
It's nice. Hell, I want to lose weight so much. I would have been a slave. I mean, really, I would have. Them niggas was never out of shape. They give me the damn slave lashes. I'd take them in a heartbeat for a 6-pack. They was getting all kind of exercise running from mass, so they was getting exercise and everything. You never heard of a diabetic slave? Them niggas was in shape. They was picking all that cotton and everything. They was getting all the sun rays and man shit. Give me that life.
Would you say that that's the healthiest era for black people?
Probably. Black Americans. They were pretty healthy in Africa before they got robbed.
If you ask Ron DeSantis, they would say the same thing. Like, oh my God, it was a great time for them. I mean,
oh yeah, how great is that? Fucking awesome. Thank you so much for coming through, man. I appreciate it.
Through no rhyme or reason, I am the hellbound heathen. If it's in God's will, and if y'all foot the bill, I will return and fuck with you. It's been a pleasure.
Amen.
I'm C to the D to the M
to the L and C. We're out.
Much love.
I'm